Okay, so today we're going to go over higher order derivatives. I have mentioned this in a previous lesson about how there's not just f prime of x or y prime, not just a first derivative. We work with not only doing a first derivative, but a second derivative. So that's actually our first example here that you're probably copying or hopefully copying down. So if y prime is indicating our first derivative, then y double prime would be indicating a second derivative. So you're essentially taking the derivative with respect to x of y prime, okay? Now you can indicate y prime also as dy over dx. And what happens when we kind of combine this expression here, we don't leave it as this. We say we have d squared y over dx squared, okay? This is indicating our second derivative. So these are the two things that we really indicate with saying that we have a second derivative. Now there's more derivatives that we can do. Just in our course, we've worked particularly with our first derivative and second derivative. If there is a third derivative, then we would write it as such with a triple prime, okay, or we use the 3 when we take the derivative. But then after that, we indicate it with 4 if we're taking the fourth derivative. So you can see how just the numbers change. So if we're taking like the 10th derivative, we would indicate it with like a little 10 here instead of the 4 or the 3 or the 2. Or the 1, essentially. Okay, so those are the notations. And when you do take, let's say, a second derivative, as we will be doing in our course, you're just taking the derivative of the first derivative. So you're just doing another one. And that leads to our example. Okay, so we have a quick example here, and you even get to see our practice problems. So it's hard to kind of type it out in one line when you're using Word or something like that on a computer. So let me rewrite this problem. It's asking to find d squared y over dx squared for y equals 5x cubed minus 3x to the fifth. So we would first have to take the derivative on both sides of our equation. So on the left side, that would become dy over dx. And on the right side, if we take the derivative using the difference rule and our product rule, we get 15x squared minus 15x to the fourth. So now, if we take another derivative, we take the derivative of the left side of our equation, that becomes d squared y over dx squared. And on our right side, we're still using product rule and difference rule. We get 30x minus 60x cubed. Okay, and that's our final answer. Okay, we found d squared y over dx squared. All right, so continue to practice and let me know if you have any questions.